Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast for all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time. I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. We are located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. There's parking on Hillcrest. We are the brown brick building located right on the corner of Hillcrest and Marsh Road. Service begins every Sunday at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and, if you're in our area, experience a better quality of life. Pardon me, as you can see, I'm suffering a bit with my allergies, so I had to take a sip of Fiji water, Earth's finest water. We are broadcasting live right here from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. And as I was saying, we begin our service every Sunday at 10 a.m. If you're in our area, we invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. If you are not in our area, the Sunday sermon goes live every Sunday at 10:45 a.m. So tune in. You don't want to miss this. Every Sunday, 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. On all of our platforms, we are Facebook Live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio in 3D Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. And then for the Sunday sermon at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Service begins at 10 a.m. We go live with the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. And as always, we are here with you Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who can continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com. Again, that's New Life Ministries with an S, international.com, and New Life International CDC.com. We thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here with you every Monday through Friday, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So again, we're Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We are RadioFreeNetwork.com live. You can go to RadioFreeNetwork.com. You can click on radio. The drop box will appear. Click on New Life, the New Life link, and every broadcast will be available to you. And now you can tune in to stay connected with us 24 hours a day. We want you to be encouraged, empowered, and inspired so you can listen, tune in to our internet radio station. It's new, but our internet radio station, which has only been launched since the end of March, the end of the first quarter, we began technically. We've been improving the platform little by little. So we essentially launched the second quarter of this year, April 1st, and we want you to be connected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Tune in by going to rdo.to/WKAP. Of course, you can always go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on Radio, the Dropbox will appear. There is a link for WKAP, our faith empowerment radio station. So tune in 24 hours a day. You will hear music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to be the best version of yourself that we can possibly become. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your dating life has really been a disaster. However, you said since I provided a new method of dating, you have been trying it out and it is not working because men do not want to go to church. Well, first of all, that's not true. Let's start with what you said initially. You said you've been trying it out and it's not working. It's actually working perfectly. And the reason you said it's not working is because men don't want to take you out by going to church and then out to lunch. The reason it's working perfectly is because they're doing you a favor. They don't want to go to church and take you out to lunch, and all they're interested in doing is taking you out to dinner and then trying to lie down with you. That's not what you are looking for, or not what your expectation for your life. You want more than that. You've got to want more than that, or you wouldn't have tried the new method that I provided. It was a revelation from God about the method we should be dating, with a mission, with a purpose. And so it's working perfectly. It's keeping those away from you who don't want to have a relationship with the Lord. You thought it wasn't working because men are saying, well, okay, I'll give you a call, or, I really don't do church, but I'd like to take you out to dinner. And you're saying, but if you don't want to go to church and out to lunch, then I'm not going to go to dinner with you. And you've explained to them that you want to go to church and out to lunch 3 times, and they're running from you because they don't have good intentions. There's an old adage that, men used to say to those who called on their daughters. I'll use that term. When I say called on their daughters, whether it was by telephone or finally showed up at the door. And the question was, what's your intention for my daughter? What is the intent? What do they intend to do by taking you out to dinner? What do they intend to do by taking you out to a social event? They're doing that in the evening, at night, because at night they can then try to convince you to spend the night. Now you might say, well, I have the option of saying yes or no. Yes, you do. But the problem with that is we're beginning the process the wrong way. So the goal is for men, it's to find the woman that God has appointed for our lives. For a woman, it's to be found by the man who God has appointed for your life. So if they're running from you, or they're just not following up with you because they don't want to do church, they're doing you a favor. The method is working perfectly. What you want is the man who says, yes, I will go to church with you this Sunday. If you're comfortable with me picking you up at home, I'll be happy to pick you up at home. If you're not comfortable with me picking you up at home, here's the address for the church I attend. I will meet you there, and we can go in together, and when service is over, we can go out to lunch. And I don't want to rule anyone out just because they're not spiritually sound yet. If they don't have a church home, then invite them to your church. Tell them, I'd be happy to go out with you, but only under the condition that we go to church first and out to lunch. I don't need you to take me out to dinner. I don't need you to take me to, I was about to name some of the fine dining establishments in our area, but I don't need you to do that. What I need to know is what your relationship is with the Lord. And if you don't have a church home, let's work on our relationship with the Lord so that we can find out if this is going to be what God has appointed for both of our lives. We've been wasting a lot of time and money trying to do things our way. We need to do them the right way, the righteous way, the way that God has appointed for our lives. So this new method of dating has been working out just fine for you. Listen, Don't get weary in well doing. Just keep doing well. In other words, don't stop doing what you're doing just because it hasn't worked out the way you thought it should work out right away. And then the second part to this is you said men do not want to go to church. That's not correct. First of all, I'm a pastor, so you can take me out of the equation because I want to be in church. Even if I go away, I want to find a church that I can attend if I'm there over a Sunday, or even if I'm there during the week on a Wednesday night when someone has Bible study, perhaps. But here's the reality. I'm going to church because I'm a pastor, and that's what I do. There are good men in my church, men who love the Lord and love their wives, and men who are single who love being in church, in the house of God. So you can't tell me that men don't want to be in church. Men don't want church. They don't. Listen, I've got men in my church right now who love the Lord, who are in church every Sunday, good tithing members of the church. They understand giving unto God their tithes. They understand being prayerful. They understand meditating. They understand that it's important to be in the house of God on Sunday. These are good men. They are men being real men. So you can't tell me men don't want to go to church. It's just that you've been encountering the wrong men. There are men out there who want a relationship with God, who want a relationship with the Lord that is going to take them into the place. Because remember this, part of the reason that most men aren't in church, most men, not all men, part of the reason that a lot of men are not in church is because they don't know that he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. They don't know that. And the reason they don't know this is because they're not in church. If you're in my church, you know that. You know that we're searching the scriptures to rightly divide the word of truth so that we know what to do. And then I have a lot of men in my church who are married with children who love the Lord. And when I say that, meaning, numbers are relative, but the men who are in our church are good men of God who love their wives and their families and love the Lord first and foremost. And their wives understand that they're going to love the Lord first. And the men who are single, their future wives will understand that they love the Lord first and they love them second. That's really what you want. You don't want a man who loves you more than he loves God, because that'll never take you to the place where you enter into the fullness of God. That's what we need to know. And so I'm going to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because it's working. It's working for you. You haven't gotten caught up with some guy who, his only intention is to put another notch on his bedpost. That's not what you need. And so therefore, God is protecting you. Because if they don't want to be in the presence of the Lord, then they're not for you. Keep doing what you're doing because it is working. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I want to take another moment because I will say this. It's real important that our previous listener who sent in that communication and our all of our listeners and viewers who feel that this new method of dating is not working for you because men aren't interested in being in church. It's very interesting to me, but I really am thankful that we have men in our church who love the Lord. I'm thankful for that every day. That's not to say we're perfect, but I'm saying I'm thankful every day that we have men who love the Lord. Wherever you are, find a church that is teaching the Word of God, that's really going through the Bible, a Bible-based church. And just look around while you're, after church. When you enter, you focus on the Word. But after church, just look around. Look at the body language of the men in the church where you attend. It will tell you a lot about men, whether they're single or the examples that they're following who are married. It will tell you a lot about them, just the body language alone. Because when you walk upright before God, there's a special anointing on the life of a man. And the reason is because he has to be responsible for his household. If he's single, he's growing into and preparing himself to take a wife. Just look around. All you have to do is just look around, and you will see if the men in the church are men who love their wives and their families. Look around and you'll see the men who are single, if they're following in the path of the men who are married, meaning they love the Lord and they're searching for the wife that God has appointed for them. Now, I'm not talking about searching around the church. I'm just talking about they're searching. They're searching the scriptures to identify the woman that they can walk with, being equally yoked, walk with in agreement. A man of God is a special kind of man. A real man of God is a special kind of man. The problem is a lot of women don't recognize that because you're looking for something else that's really in the world, something that will offer you what the world has to offer. But I can tell you that what God has to offer is so much greater. The fullness of God is so much greater than what's in the world, the illusion that the world creates. So I just want to encourage all of the women out there that are single today. Prepare yourself to be a wife and prepare yourself for the man that God has appointed and developed to search for a wife that God has appointed for his life. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that life has become stagnant and you are not certain what to do about it. You want to know, how do you get your life moving forward? Well, here's the issue. First of all, you don't want it to just move forward. You want it to move forward in the right direction. You want to be moving in the right direction. And so let me explain what that means to you. The Bible says don't turn to the left or turn to the right. You've got to get a vision for your life. And then you want to begin on that course. God will give you the vision, but you've got to begin on that course. And you can't get distracted. That's what the Bible was implying when it said don't turn to the left or turn to the right. It means we're getting distracted by things that take us off course. We don't want to get off course. We want to stay on course, continue moving forward in the right direction. And then the other component is that your life has become stagnant because of the people that you surround yourself with. You've surrounded yourself with people that you're comfortable with because you're at another level than they are. That doesn't mean that your career is any better than their career. It means that you're in a position right now to do the things that you, and this is going to kind of take me into the next communication, but you're in a position to do the things you want to do and make decisions in your life. You want to make good decisions though. And the truth be told, what you're doing right now is you are placing yourself in an environment with people who are stagnant also. You know, there's an old adage, birds of a feather flock together. The problem with that is that when you flock together with birds of a feather, you can't soar like an eagle if you spend your time with turkeys. And I'm not trying to, turkeys don't fly. I'm not trying to downplay your friends or, you know, diminish who they are. I'm just suggesting to you that the reason, and I'm not just suggesting, you know, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. The reason you become stagnant is because you've surrounded yourself with a lot of people who are stagnant. So you can't move forward when stagnation is in your way. You know, I said this long ago, many years ago. I said, you can't grow big when little has a hold on your life. You cannot go to the next level if you surround yourself with people who are holding you where they are. They become stagnant because they like what they're doing in their lives right now. Not looking to move forward. They're just looking to stay in the status quo. They're good right where they are. They, you know, this is a problem with stagnation, is that we achieve a certain level of success and we're good with that. You know, we've got a comfortable life and we're good with that. We don't want to get out of our comfort zone because the comfort zone, like comfort food, tastes good. Comfort zone feels good. But God doesn't want us to stay there. He wants us to continue climbing the stairway to heaven. That implies that every step we have to go to another level. Climbing the stairway to heaven. You know, this isn't a Stairmaster where you just take a step and stay where you are. This is the stairway to heaven is a long staircase. It's like walking up the steps of a high-rise building. Walking up the staircase instead of catching the elevator. It's climbing the stairway to heaven. Someday we'll get to heaven, but while we're on the journey, we have to keep going to the next floor. The good news is, at any given time, whatever on one of the floors, you can stop and get off at that floor and get right back on the stairs. You know, I thought about this as I was reading your communication. Whenever my wife and I go someplace, she likes to take the stairs. And I'm okay with it. But I've had surgery on my knees before. I've had surgery on my spine, so probably wouldn't be my first choice. But she always reminds me it's good for the heart. So I climb the stairs, and you know, when we go somewhere, if we go to the hospital to visit someone, we'll walk the stairs. If we go someplace and there's stairs, she will say to me, "Would you take the stairs with me?" I'm going to take the stairs, and I'll take the stairs, and she'll remind me it's good for your heart. Now, we're all going to die of something, but we've got to do our part to try and stay as healthy as we can. And, I had my annual physical last year, got a clean bill of health. I'll have another one this year. Make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, but we've got to do our part, and those are little moments when you can do our part. Well, the same thing applies to our success. At some point in time, you've just got to say, I'm going to work the muscles. I'm going to take the next. I'm going to the next level. I'm going to take the stairway to heaven. I'm going to take the next step, and I'm going to eliminate stagnation from my life. Stagnation will eventually lead to complacency, and procrastination will also lead to stagnation. So we've got to avoid all of those or eliminate them from our lives. Procrastination, stagnation, complacency. We've got to eliminate those in order for us to get to the place that God has appointed for our lives. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. Shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt Attire today. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your family wants you to settle down and get married. However, you prefer to be single, and you want to know what. You said the reason you prefer to be single, is because you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And you want to know, how do you get them off your, these are your words, how do you get them off your back about marriage? Well, here's the thing. You've got to ask yourself, all right, first I'll respond to your question. How do you get them off your back about marriage? Well, the one way you can get them off your back about marriage is to settle down and get married. But if that's not what you're going to do, you have to first of all remember that the scripture says it's not good for man to be alone. Man and woman were intended to join together in holy matrimony and be fruitful and multiply if God blesses you to be responsible for another life. Now, having said that, your family wants you to settle down and get married. You think it's just because they want you to have children. Your parents are still living. You think it's just because they want you to have children, and they do. But they also realize the importance of two joining together. Two is better than one. Every time. Two is better than one. You have to recognize that what they really want for you is to settle down so that you have a better quality of life. You're everywhere. You're all over the place. You want to be all things to all people, everywhere, all over. You can't be everything to everyone. You have to be you for you. And yes, your parents would love for you to get married and have children. Every parent wants that for their child, because we understand the importance of legacy. We understand the importance of companionship, two being better than one. There's less, you have the opportunity to build a great quality of life if you do it the right way. If the two build that foundation in the Lord, you'll have a better quality of life. So that's That's their concerns for you. They want you first and foremost to just settle down. Then you can take the next step towards marriage if you aren't so self-consumed about being able to do what you want to do when you're not being accountable to someone else. There's something to be said for that because it leads to a better quality of life. But do you? If that's what you feel that you need to do, then you're going to have to tolerate your family having that discussion with you about marriage from time to time, because they are going to do that as long as you're around them, because they want you to have a better quality of life. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought